the Essential phone. The founding father of Android, Andy Rubin's first swing into the smartphone market. This beautiful beast was released back in August of 2017. It was a bumpy start out of the gate, some would say a flop. A lot of people just felt that the asking price was too steep amongst other things. But now, more than a year later, the Essential phone can be had for under $300. It's seriously underrated, and for that price, you'd seriously be a fool to overlook this one. Love it or hate it, you can't deny the beauty that the PH1 holds. With an impressive material combo of ceramic, titanium, and glass, the Essential phone screams quality. The feel in hand is fantastic. There's a bit of weight to it, which I like, and every time I pick it up, I'm reminded that I'm holding a premium piece of tech. It's a head turner too. I get asked weekly, what phone is that? In my opinion, it's the best looking smartphone to this day. The ceramic back, while more brittle than Gorilla Glass, holds up against scratches better, and that holds true here to this day. Almost no scratches on the back of my white unit, and it's been bare butt naked since day one. Android here is bare butt naked as well. No skins, no bloatware, just pure stock Android, and I love it. I'm not even gonna mention specs, you can look those up. Instead, I'm gonna talk about day-to-day use like you or I would use this phone. The average consumer, that's what this is for. So the Essential phone is snappy. Opening apps and browsing through the UI is fast, fluid, and smooth with pretty much zero hiccups or delay. Notice I said pretty much. That's because the fingerprint reader does have the slightest delay from the time that you place your finger to the time that the screen actually turns on. It's nothing annoying, it doesn't bother me, it shouldn't bother you, but it's definitely worth mentioning that it's not the fastest fingerprint reader out there. However, gaming on the Essential phone is pretty fast. I tested a multitude of games like Fortnite, Mortal Kombat, PUBG, San Andreas, a few more, and the one playing here, Shadowgun Legends. All ran at playable frame rates with the graphics maxed out. There were some games that the frames did kind of dip here and there, but again, nothing unplayable. Now, Essential has been pretty aggressive with their updates to improve a number of things, like their camera, which we'll get to in a second. We recently got the Android Pie update, and it tastes so sweet. With Android Pie, we're given gestures. At first, I wasn't sure I liked the implementation, but after a few days, gestures has really grown on me. All actions are done with the home button. Swiping up takes you to your recent apps, which you can then swipe through using the home button again. Alternatively, you can quickly swipe right on the home button to flip between apps. Another cool feature, kind of hidden, tucked away in the settings, is being able to swipe down on your fingerprint reader to access your notification shade. Now, this can be finicky at times, but you quickly get the hang of it, and it's definitely a unique, innovative feature, which is something we need more of. Now, many people blame Apple for the notch trend, but it was actually Essential who started the whole thing up with their nipple of a notch. Smack top center in the middle of the 5.7-inch QHD display, which looks beautiful by the way. I don't mind the notch as much as I thought I would, which seems to be the case with most everyone. But what I do mind is the fact that the notch space isn't properly being utilized by any app outside of YouTube. A good example of this is while playing PUBG. You get this black bar that just renders that screen real estate useless. Similar situation in Lightroom. Instead of usable space, we get a massive notification bar. You would think that there would be an option to use that space for full screen with applications to take advantage of the whole display and the whole implementation of the notch, but instead that space is pretty much useless in most cases. Now, software updates have also fixed the camera that a lot of reviewers were complaining about when Essential phone was first launched, and it can now go 10 rounds in the ring with the iPhone X and Pixel 2. Images are sharp, contrast is good, white balance can be off at times, but for the most part, the camera produces some really nice images. We've now got a portrait mode that produces some really clean bokeh effects, and 8 out of 10 times it gets the blur effect right. And I usually end up shooting in this mode more often than not. Unfortunately, portrait mode is limited to the rear camera only. Low light performance has been fantastic here as well in my experience. Very little grain unless you start to pixel peep. Images still hold good detail in low light, and portrait mode surprisingly works great at night. Is this the best of the best when it comes to cameras? Absolutely not, but it's not one to frown upon either. One of my Instagram followers by the name of that dude Para mentioned that the Pixel 3 camera app makes things even better. I've yet to test it out, but drop me a comment if that's something you would like to see. One of the most impressive aspects of this phone has been battery life. It's been insane. The PH1 can easily get me through a full day with some battery to spare. Average screen on time for me has been between 6 and 7 hours. Now, my usage mainly consists of watching a few hours of YouTube throughout the day, checking and responding to a couple dozen emails, scrolling through social media, and some light photo editing. Now, if you throw in some gaming, obviously you will be getting much less screen on time, but overall the battery life is just freaking nuts. You're not getting wireless charging here, which was a bummer to me, but you do get a rapid charger in the box with the phone. Now, so far from the review, you can tell that I absolutely love my Essential phone. It's great, but just like every other phone, it's not perfect. There are some things that could be added, replaced, or improved. Now, ironically enough, the Essential phone is lacking some key essentials, like the headphone jack. To this day, there's still a lot of people that find the headphone jack to be a deciding factor when choosing their next phone. While Essential does include an adapter, I think they were foolish for removing the headphone jack in the first place. Lack of any expandable storage was another foolish move in my opinion, and again, micro SD card expansion to me is considered an essential for a lot of people, myself included. Essential phone is hands down one of the most underrated phones. It's one hell of a looker with a whole lot to offer, all wrapped up in a high-end flagship package with a low-end budget phone price tag. If you would like to check out the Essential phone, as always, I'll drop some links down in the description for you. I highly recommend the white or halo gray. Both do a great job at not showing any fingerprints. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, you already know what to do. Give me a thumbs up, drop me a comment. I love hearing from you. If you disliked the video, hit that dislike button twice. Let me know what I could have done differently. If you haven't yet, check out some other content. Consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it greatly. I'm signing off. Catch you guys in the next one.